have to discuss. So income from salary 16 mark problem. Problem number 2. Mr. Shivakumar is an employee in a company in Bangalore gives the following information. So now there are various information given. First thing is about basic salary. Basic salary 30,000 per month. 30,000 per month. We want it for 1 year because we are calculating taxable salary. That is why 30,000 into 12 you have to do. DA, dearness allowance 2000 per month. Similarly, again 2000 into 12. Then family allowance 500 per month. So this also we have to multiply into 12. Then CCA, city compensatory allowance. So this city compensatory allowance 600 per month. Again into 12 we have to do. Then educational allowance. Educational allowance, if you see, it is for two children at 200 per month per child. But for educational allowance, there is an exemption. There is a rule. So what is the rule? That is exemption for educational allowance 100 per month per child for two children. That means up to 100 per month is exempt for per child. That too, this exemption is given only for two child. If more than two children are there, then exemption is restricted only to the two children. Third child cannot get this exemption. That is the meaning of this one. But here only two children are there, so 100 you can reduce. 100 per month per child you can reduce. That is the exemption available. Entertainment allowance 800 per month. So there is one correction. M is written PM. So 800 per month entertainment allowance. And this entertainment allowance, you see, Mr. Shivakumar is an employee in a company and he works in Bangalore. But we have not sure whether that is a private company or the government company. So this entertainment allowance you cannot give as a deduction, but it is taxable allowance. So you have to consider 800 into 12. Next, HRA 2000 per month, but he pays 3000 per month as rent for accommodation secured by him. So HRA house rent allowance, actual HRA received is given per month. So we want HRA received for 1 year, that is 2000 into 12 will get 24,000. Next, rent paid by the SSE, that is also mentioned in the question, that is 3000 per month. Whenever rent paid by the SSE is given, we have to see HRA rule. What is our rule for HRA? There are three conditions. Whichever is least, that is exempt. First one, actual HRA received for the relevant period. Second one, that is rent paid in excess of 10% of salary. That means first we have to see the rent paid. Second thing we have to consider 10% of the salary. And here salary means what? Salary means basic, and DA and DP only if it enters the retirement benefit. But here they have not given anything about DA. So we should not consider DA. What about bonus commission? If it is given, we should consider. But commission, if fixed percentage of turnover is given, then only we can consider. Or the commission is for the past 10 month or 12 month, then only we can consider. Here no such information is given. So our salary is only basic here for HRA purpose, house rent allowance purpose. Next, he is allowed to use one motor car of 1.6 cc for all office purpose. So here office purpose they have said. So whenever the car is used only for office purpose, in that case what happens? It is fully exempt from tax. But car is used for personal purpose as well as for professional purpose. In that case we have to see statutory limit. That is whether car is a big car. Big car means more than 1.6 cc, or whether car is a small car that is less than 1.6 cc. In that case we have to see statutory limit. So now there is one more condition. The car is owned by whom? Whether car is owned by the employer. Then expenses are met by whom? If expenses are met by employer. Now two cases, employer, employer, and car is used for both the purpose. In that case, if car is a small car less than 1.6 cc, 1800 per month you have to consider as a perquisite. Then if car is a big car, then the 2400 per month you have to consider as a perquisite. Then if driver is provided for that particular car, in that case 900 per month you have to consider. So that is regarding employer, both owner is also employer, expenses are also met by employer. Here employer gives one car but it is used for official purpose, so it is exempt from tax. Our requisite value is nil. Next, reimbursement of medical expenses incurred by him was 16,000. So, reimbursement of medical expenses from the assessment year 2019-20 is taxable. So, you have to consider this full amount. Full amount you have to take. So, this is a taxable 16,000. Then, the company paid his club membership fee 12,000 during the year. So whenever company makes the payment on behalf of the employee, in that case you have to add that. So this 12,000 is also there. This 12,000 you have to consider. Then his son gets free education in the school approved by the company, and the cost of the education is 1500 per month per child. So now there are certain exemption for educational institution run by the employer, and if employees children or child goes to that particular education institute, in that case per child up to 1000 per month is exempt from tax and remaining is taxable. If you see this question, in this they have set 1500 per month per child. That means from 1500 you can reduce or you can deduct the exemptable amount, that is 1000 per month per child, and remaining 500 per month is a taxable. So that is the meaning of this one. That is next, this one K, point number K. Then provision for the following servants and they are paid by the company. So now employer gives certain facilities to the employee: watchman, sweeper, and gardener and cook. Watchman is paid 1200 per month, sweeper 800 per month, gardener 750 per month, cook 1000 per month. So all these we want in terms of 1 year. So 1 year means we have to multiply with 12. So all these four things, watchman, sweeper, gardener, cook, we want for 1 year. So multiply by 12. Next, company has contributed to his PF account. So this PF, provident fund account, so basically this is for RPF, recognized provident fund account, at 13% of his salary. Now they have mentioned about employer's contribution. So whenever employer's contribution is there, so there is a rule or there are certain exemption while calculating income from salary. So what is that exemption? Up to 12% of the salary it is exempt from tax, and if it is more than 12%, the exceeding amount or exceeding percentage is taxable. So here in this case 13% of his salary, so 13% means more than 12%, 1% is taxable. So 1% amount we want, that we have to calculate. Then has credited 28,000 as interest at 10%. So again for interest 9.5 up to 9.5 it is exempt from tax, and anything more than that is taxable. So here 10 minus 9.5, that is 0.5. 0.5 answer we want, so that 0.5 is taxable, that we have to see while solving the problem. Compute the taxable salary. So this type of problem, if you see the problem, this type of problem comes for 16 mark, and in section C there will be two problem from income from salary chapter. So now we have to see the solution part. See this. computation of taxable salary of SSC. Who is SSC? Mr. Shivakumar. For the assessment year is year 2021, 2020-21. So we have to do the three columns. One is particular and two amount column we have to do. So first thing, you have to go as per the question. Whatever the information given in the question, as per that you have to go. So now let us see this one. See this, first basic salary. Basic salary is given 30,000 per month. So 30,000 into 12 we have to write. Basic 30,000 into 12. Amount in the outer column 3,60,000. DA again DA 2,000 per month is given. 2,000 into 12 DA, so 24,000 it will get the amount. Similarly, you have to do for everything. See this now. Family allowance. Next, you have to write family allowance 500 into 12. That is 6,000. Next, city compensatory allowance. That is 600 into 12. That is 7,200. Like that, you have to do. So, we have written till CCA, but for educational allowance there is an exemption. That is why you have to write this amount in the inner amount column. So educational allowance, see this very carefully, we have to see here. Educational allowance for two children at 200 per month per child. So 200 into 12 we have to do. Why? Because we want the information for 1 year. So 200 into 12, and how many children are there? Two children. So into 2. 200 into 12, 2400. 2400 into 2, that is 4800. So 4800 we have written in the inner column, but we know that there is an exemption for education elements. So what is our exemption? Exemption is 100 per month per child for two children. That is why 100 into 12 we want it for 1 year, and there are two children, so into 2. So exemptable amount is 2400. This amount you have to deduct from the original amount of educational allowance. So 4800 minus 2400, final amount or remaining amount is 2400. You have to write in the outer column. So that is a taxable amount. So are you getting my point? Have you understood till here, Suraksha and Shravya?
Yes, sir.
Are you getting right? So this is very simple problem. If you understand the format and rules, certain rules we have to understand. Yes, Shravya, have you understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So now see here, entertainment allowance. Next thing is about entertainment allowance, 800 per month. So 800 into 12 you have to do 9,600 directly. Entertainment allowance we have written 9,600 in the outer column. But for HRA we have to do the working note. That is why here I have mentioned in the bracket C working note, because if you do the working note here inside the main format, then it will be very complicated. That is why you have to show the separate working note. So let us see that HRA working note. See this calculation of a HRA. So first we have to see the HRA adjustment. What is the HRA adjustment? HRA is 2,000 per month. So now HRA received per month is 2,000. Rent paid by him, or he pays a rent 3,000 per month as a rent for the accommodation secured by him. So HRA is only given when SSE stays in the rented house. So here now we'll assume that he stays in a rented house. So now the HRA calculation, like how we used to do in the tax-free income, same format we have to follow here. So same format, see this actual HRA received. First thing you have to write in the outer column. 2000 into 12, we have written 24,000 in the outer column. Less exempt under section 10 clause 13a. So this is a section for HRA, so that you have to write exempt under section 10 clause 13a, least of the following. So whenever least of the following, first point is actual HRA received for the relevant period. In this question, relevant period is not there, but we will assume that relevant period is 1 year. So our actual HRA received itself is the actual HRA for the relevant period. So whatever you have written in the outer column, you can write in the inner column. Same amount 24,000. Now second condition, if you see, rent paid over 10% of salary. So what do you mean by this? This is nothing but rent paid minus 10% of the salary. So first we want rent paid. Rent paid is given in the question, that is 300 per month, 3000 per month. So not 300, 3000 per month. So 3000 into 12, if you do rent paid answer, that is for 1 year, that is 36,000. But now we want 10% of the salary also. How to get 10% of the salary? Salary for the purpose of HRA, that is only basic. Only basic. DA, DP you can consider only if it enters the retirement benefit. But here they have not given anything, or they have not mentioned information regarding DA. So we want basic salary. How to get basic salary? That is basic 30,000 per month into 12. We have already calculated, that is 3,60,000. On 3,60,000 take 10%. So 3,60,000 into 10%. Now 10% of the salary amount we got, that is 36,000. Now we have to deduct both. That is, in this question amount is same. That is why nil. Second point answer is nil. 36,000 rent paid minus 36,000, 10% of the salary amount is nil. Now, third condition, that is 40% of the salary. Why 40% of the salary? Here, house is located other than four cities. So, what are those four cities? Mumbai, Chennai, Delhi, and Kolkata. So, if these four cities are there, then you have to take 50% of the salary. But here, SSE has a job in Bangalore. So Bangalore is not included in that four cities. That is why we have to take 40% of the salary. 40% of the salary means a salary for 12 months. Again, salary for this purpose only basic. So basic 30,000 into 12, that is 3,60,000. 3,60,000 into 40%, if you do, you will get 1,44,000 as 40% of the salary. So now you see, among these three, whichever is least is exempt from tax. Here nil, that is zero amount is the least amount. That is why zero amount is written in the outer column. That is nil amount. See this one. So here exempt from a tax is nil. So taxable HRA is nothing but actual HRA received at the beginning. Same answer. 24,000 minus nil. So you will get a taxable HRA as 24,000. So this 24,000 you have to show in the main format. Main format, see this HRA working note. After calculating the working note, final answer you have to show in the outer column, that is 24,000. I hope now this is clear till HRA. Then you see, he is allowed to use one motor car 1.6 cc for all office purpose. That is exempt from tax. So that is exempt from tax. So you can write here employer's contribution and interest credited to RPF, that also you can write. So there is no specified format, but usually basic salary, DA, bonus, commission, all taxable elements, then any contribution made, then finally comes perquisite. So that is our format. That is why here contribution written immediately after all the elements. See this now. Employer's contribution to RPF recognized provident fund about 12% of the basic. So now if you see the information, company has contributed to his PF account, that is SSE's PF account, company is contributing 13% of his salary. So now it is more than 12% of the salary. So up to 12% it is exempt from tax. That is why above 12% is taxable. So 13 minus 12%, that is 1%. 3,60,000 into 1%, 3,600 is a taxable. So now this is clear. Similarly, employer's contribution as well as interest of RPF, again up to 9.5 it is exempt, remaining is taxable. So now you see interest of RPF is 28,000 given in the question as interest at 10% they have mentioned. So here 9.5 it is exempt, remaining is taxable. So like this you have to do. For 28,000, what is the original rate? At a 10% interest rate, the interest amount is 28,000. But now we want a difference amount. So difference amount you have to write below, that is 10 minus 9.5, that is 0.5. Then you have to do cross multiplication. When you do cross multiplication, 28,000 into 0.5 divided by 10, it comes. So 28,000 into 0.5 divided by 10, if you do, you will get excess of RPF above 9.5%. That is 1,400. So total amount taxable under RPF, that is employer's contribution plus interest credited. So that is 3,600 plus 1,400, that is 5,000. 5,000 you have to write in the outer column. Add both the amount and write it in the outer column. Yes, now RPF calculation is over. Next thing we have to see, several perquisites are given. See this now, we want a taxable value of a perquisite. That is why we have written taxable value of perquisite. Then under that all the perquisite we have to write. So what do you mean by perquisite? Anything addition to the salary given by the employer. So it may be monetary in kind or it may be non-monetary. It may be in cash or it may be in kind. So now first one, motor car, it is fully used for official purpose. So whenever it is fully used for official purpose, it is not taxable. So that is why nil amount. But if it is fully used for a personal purpose, in that case, what you are going to do? In that case, you have to see actual cost of the car, then maintenance, wear and tear, all these things you have to consider. But usually, such type of question is not asked. Either they will give official purpose or they will give both the purpose. Whenever it is both the purpose, we have to see car is owned by whom, expenses are met by whom, and we have to apply the statutory limit. Next one, medical expenses. See this, in this question they have given about medical expenses information. One point they have mentioned, see this, reimbursement of medical expenses incurred by him was 16,000. Before the year, assessment year, that is 2019, it was exempt from tax. But after the year 2019, now we have to give the taxation purpose. So now we have to add that because now it is taxed. 16,000, see this, 16,000 we have to consider. Medical expenses reimbursement not exempted from the assessment year 2019-20, that is 16,000, entire amount is taxable. Next, club membership fee. If you see the club membership fee, it is paid by the company. Whenever company is paying the amount on behalf of the employee, it has to be added back. So it is taxable. 12,000 entire amount you have to write. Next, cost of education. Very important about cost of education. If you see 1,500 per month per child, his son they have said. So SSC has only one child. So if he has more than one child also, what happens? The rule is 1,000 per month exempt per child. So here 1,500, so 1,000 exempt, so 500 is taxable. So 1,500 minus 1,000, 500 you will get. So 500 into 12, that is taxable for 1 year, 6,000 is taxable. Next, what about watchman, sweeper and gardener and cook? So all these things are given by the employer to the employee. So it is a perquisite value, whatever the actual value that we have to consider. Watchman 1,200 per month, so into 12 you have to do. Sweeper 800 per month into 12. Gardener 750 per month into 12. Cook 1,000 per month into 12 we have to do. Why? Because it is for 1 year. So watchman answer, that is 14,400. Sweeper answer 9,600. Gardener answer 9,000. Cook answer, that is 12,000 after multiplied with 12. Now we want total value of the perquisite. So once you can get the total value of the perquisite, how to get from motor car till cook, you have to add all these things. 16,000 plus 12,000 plus 6,000 plus 14,400 plus 9,600 plus 9,000 plus 12,000. The final amount of perquisite, that is taxable perquisite, you have to write it in the outer column, that is 79,000. So now 79,000 we have written in the outer column. Next thing we want is gross salary. Gross salary means add all the things whatever you have entered in the outer column. So Gross salary includes basic 3,60,000 plus 24,000 DA, family allowance 6,000, CCA 7,200, education allowance 2,400, entertainment allowance 9,600, HRA 24,000, then employer contribution RPF amount is 5,000, then taxable value of perquisite total 79,000. If you add all these things, you will get the gross salary. Gross salary is 5,17,200. So from gross salary, if you deduct a certain deduction from that is section 16, under section 16, you will get net salary. So what are those deductions that we have to see? First one is a standard deduction. It is a fixed amount, that is 50,000. So before it was 40,000. Now it is increased by the government. Now it is 50,000 for all the SSC. So all the salaried SSC government gives 50,000 deduction. Then second one is professional tax. Whether if it is given in the problem, we have to deduct that professional tax. Usually it is 200 per month. So for 1 year it cannot exceed 2,500 per month. So that is a total, not per month. Total amount should be 2,500 for 1 year, not more than that. So 200 per month means 200 into 12, that is 2,400. 2,400 is less than 2,500. So you can give that deduction. Then one more thing you have to see is entertainment allowance. So in this question, entertainment allowance is there, but we are not sure that he is a government employee. So whenever it is not specified in the problem whether he is a government employee or not, we should not deduct. If he is a government employee, then only we can deduct the entertainment allowance. Then again, there are certain rules for entertainment allowance that we have to see. So now less standard deduction under section 16, that is from a gross salary, that is 50,000. So 50,000 if you deduct from the gross salary, you will get final net taxable salary. See this, our final answer, net taxable salary, that is 5,17,200 minus 50,000, that is 4,67,200. This is our final answer. So this type of problem comes for 16 mark, very important. And